Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Healing with Hila. This is your space for aligning, expanding, and reconnecting with who you truly are. I'm your host, Hila Ferguson. I'm a transpersonal hypnotherapist, life coach, and energy worker. Thank you so much for inviting me into your life. Hello, everybody. I am so excited about today's episode. We are going to do part 3 in our Laws of the Universe series. And today I really want to talk about free will and destiny. It is such a big topic. I work so closely with remembering choices before coming here as souls and the way we operate in this world and our free will and where destiny ties in. And I really felt the need to talk about it. And so I'm excited to chat with you guys today about those concepts, just share with you a little bit about my own experience with my clients and just what I've viewed in the last couple of decades working with people and how those subjects tie in. And I also wanted to share a little bit from my session with my client where we discuss some of those premises and ideas. And I think that you'd really enjoy listening to her explanation of some of that. When I was meditating about this episode and just kind of how to build it, what to include, what to bring in, I was asked by my team to look up the definition of destiny and then to look up the definition of free will. And I want to talk to you about that. I want to read to you the quick definition that I found, and I want to discuss it. Okay, so destiny. The events that will necessarily happen to a particular person or thing in the future. And I love this. The example they gave you is she was unable to control her own destiny, which I thought was really cool. And it says the hidden power believed to control what will happen in the future, comma, fate. Which I feel like, makes sense, right? Total straight up definition. But definitely not the way that I've been able to understand destiny. And like I said, we'll share with you in a little bit. And then I asked for the definition of free will. And this is what I got. The power of acting without the constraint of necessity or fate, the ability to act at one's own discretion. And I loved reading the definitions because the definitions placed those two words, those two premises in the complete two ends of its spectrum. Literally, like one exists without the other kind of a thing. And I think that that's really where a lot of the misunderstanding around destiny comes in. And I've heard it a lot in the spiritual community because people really truly believe in their free will and they get very confused around those things that seems like inevitable. And they get very confused around going through certain things in their lives that they truly don't understand how they called them in. Like, how could I possibly have called something like that in with my free will? I've held space for immense trauma with my clients, from the loss of children to incredible and terrible acts of abuse, physically, emotionally. And oftentimes, especially when we talk, kids, when we talk people can't understand and wrap their head around free will. Like, how can this, child, right, created this terrible thing happening to them using their free will? Like, it makes no sense. And it leaves people feeling very discouraged and very in a space of helplessness. Like, how could these things just happen, right? And where is my power in it? Where is my free will in it? And when we talk free will, we talk the ultimate power, right? The ultimate power to choose. We have so much power to choose that we can literally choose bondage. So where does choice sits when it comes to destiny, right? This inevitable thing that supposedly is down our path, either good or bad, right? We can believe that it's fate that we met our soulmate, our partner, that they were placed here. It was our destiny to meet them. We can, believe that it was, our destiny to have our children, or whatever it is that we've experienced, good or bad. We can look at, fate, destiny, something that was just placed there for us and therefore feels like fully the lack of choice, right? Especially, when we think about those definitions from the beginning. And in my 2 decades of experience and closely working with clients and taking clients into their soul state and into their real memories of who they are, it's consensus. Like, it's always the same answer. And it's really lies still in choice, that destiny in essence is the free will of the soul. It's the free will of the soul, oftentimes prior to coming into the physical body and incarnating in this time and space. It is the soul choosing to place markers down in her path, in her life, that she will need to experience, or he, however, it's not really a female nor male. And really, in a way, be unavoidable for when it's incarnated within the human body. And it's such a powerful realization because it brings so much more power back into ourselves, that even though consciously I did not choose to go through the loss of, a partner or a child early in life, it's not like I said, oh yeah, that would be great, universe, or, I sent, like rockets of desire, or, like my manifesting, right? My manifestation power was sitting so much in the, like, the unwanted, that I called it in, because it's a terrible notion to think that, and it's a notion that will create a lot of fear, right? Oh my gosh, like, I better really watch my thoughts, because terrible things can happen if I think too many of them. And that's not true. It's not. It's absolutely not. The big pieces, those big pieces in our lives, were placed here through the free will of our soul, but they were placed here to experience through our physical body. And therefore, because this physical existence is a collaboration, right, between our soul, our brain, our body, who we are, our soul parts gets to also participate in free will. And you guys, it's so incredible where I've witnessed again and again people remembering those points of destiny, remembering the choice of saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to choose to lose my, son at, this age, because it would catapult me, into this, like, major life change. It will bring me more into my purpose and my destiny, truly what I've created for myself, versus, again, living in the state of fear of, holy crap, what have I created? You know? I've witnessed clients literally talking to me about remembering and reenacting a terrible um kidnapping and rape that they went through in this life and being like, "Oh yeah, no, this was unavoidable, you know? I totally placed it there. It really needed to happen. The person that's gonna do this, we have some karmic stuff we wanted to clear, I, did terrible things for him in this previous life, and so we thought it would be a great idea to clean some stuff up." And it's incredible because, first of all, they remember. I'm not telling them any of that. So it changes their narrative completely, just witnessing that for themselves. And it changes everything. Again, it places the power of choice in their hands and the choice of now how to respond to what happened. Yes, the destiny piece has been placed and we can't necessarily change it, right? We can't change this like unavoidable terrible car accident or whatever it is that we've placed down our path. But when we recognize our power in choosing that and being in a space of recognizing, oh, this was for, the pure purpose of expansion or, to feel more balanced or to understand, compassion or whatever it is, right, that we brought with that, right? Whatever the lesson that we wanted to get from that, when we get that, we get to now have the free will of choosing how to respond to all those things that so-called happened to us and recognize the power in them happening for us, being chosen by us. I had a fun session and it wasn't, as heavy as some of the stuff I'm mentioning to you guys right now, but it kind of held again this place of remembering being the programmer, remembering choosing to come here, choosing to place certain things along our path to experience. And so I thought it would be fun to just share little bits of that with you guys during today's episode. And so here's a little bit. I'm basically bringing my client and asking her to just describe to me anything that she might be experiencing. I just took her to a place of connecting to her inner wise knowing, connecting to her guidance. Anywhere, either in nature or the universe. And this is just a small part of her session. Here it is.
As we were going through, I saw a bunch of different places in the physical world go by. Tropical palm trees and ocean, big redwoods with a creek flowing by, top of a mountain. And then as we were traveling up, it all became dark, deep space. And now I'm in the middle of a ship looking at a big bubbled glass window, all the planets in our solar system.
Lovely. So go back to that traveler soul of yours. Go back to this memory of watching through the window of the ship. And open up more. Tell me more.
It feels all of the energy swirling by, in particular the dust off of Jupiter's rings, clouds around Mars, really tuning into the visceral energy that the universe is made of, and standing there and thinking, and it feels like I'm thinking about making the decision to come here. Also a feeling of like, oh, I've done this so many times. Do I really have to go back again?
Yes. Good. Open to all those knowings and to that, thought that will answer your own question. Do you have to come back again?
No.
And so feel into the choice.
That shifted everything, and now instead of there's the fear. Now instead of like fear to go through all of the restriction and pain in a body, there's excitement at the opportunity to grow. It's like a theme park. Earth is like a theme park.
Yes.
And sometimes it can feel like a haunted house with all of those kind of distorted mirrors, but then you get through it and you remember that you're just here to play.
And so opening again to this knowing that came to you about how this is a choice. You weren't forced. And how there's the lore of the theme park in it. And just tell me more, because I feel as this is important.
So even though it feels really heavy and dense sometimes when we're here in body,
Yes.
that it is actually one of the funnest places in the universe to be, because you can experience things that aren't other places.
Yes.
That you can only experience in the human body. Part of choosing, because everything's a choice, part of choosing to have a lot of really intense experiences one life is choosing a lot of growth. But then the other side of it is that you get stuck.
Let's anchor more into the captain of the ship's space, your soul space, and just tell me more about that. Tell me about your role there.
And so in front of me, I see a big board and a bunch of dials. And it feels like I'm creating experiences for myself or for other people, like writing, the stories,
like a script,
that people will have once they're here, or I will have. Totally neutral, no emotion, no feeling, very spacious, very just like judgment, no good or bad, just like, oh, this is really interesting, and what if we did this, and do you think she could handle it if we did this too?
Yes, I love that. Move into that. Good. Tell me more.
That everything that happens is, while there's choice, is intentional, and the balance of, again, what feels really important is the neutrality of not like, oh, I want to have all of this or all of this, but just like that it's an experiment. Like, oh, well, what would happen if these series of events come together and these things? And that's part of what makes it so playful. And this analogy of like a theme park or something comes up.
I think the biggest piece I want people to take from this destiny and free will is the place of power in their hands. That even when things kind of happen along their path that seems devastating, they still have the power to choose in how to respond to it, with the understanding that they chose those things for themselves. Because truly, from that out of body perspective, this earth does feel like a giant amusement park. It's a really exciting opportunity for us as souls to come in and experience this playground with this set of rules of expansion and gravity and this universe for all of its contrast. And we know that there's such an incredible opportunity for growth and expansion by going through these processes. And I know that it can feel so incredibly devastating to experience some of these things, that happens to us in our lives along our paths, losses and grief. It's not an easy path to go through. It's not an easy life. But again, when we reconnect to the remembering of the choice in all of this, and that we chose to come here, we chose to be here in this body, we chose to go through certain experiences that we would perceive as destiny now, that we have the power is in our hands. And anchoring this notion of free will, deeply within you this innate freedom that in all of your experiences, you are choosing and you are co-creating. So, on the other spectrum of destiny where free will sits, you do get to choose some of the smaller things along your path. You do get to choose from this present moment, from this conscious space. And in that, you get to really dictate how your path looks like, and we've talked a lot about this in our previous episodes, and really utilizing your free will to remember your birthright of that freedom. Nothing can ever be done to you. All of your experiences have been called into your present, either from this conscious mind, your brain, your body, who you are, or that soul particle of you that chose to place those things along your own path. I wanted to finish our episode today with a meditation that incorporates today's theme of choice and freedom, as it weaves so tightly, with destiny and free will and everything that we've talked about. And so I want to invite you to a journey in your amusement park as we travel through the rides, experiencing just the thrill of some of the choices we made in this life. And so, as always, just make sure you allow space for this segment, that you're listening to it, comfortably, not while driving. And you can always return to it if this is not the right time. I hope you enjoy. I want you to start by taking a nice deep breath. Inhale, exhale, letting go. We're going to take some time, gently counting down from 10 to 1, and just allowing a space to connect, to move a little bit deeper. 10, just letting go. Inviting a really nice relaxation into your body as you let go and move a little bit deeper. 9, just moving a bit deeper as we let go further, expanding into this relaxation, letting it move through our head, into our shoulders. And the more we let go, the better it feels. And the better it feels, the more we let go. 8, just letting the relaxation keep moving down and through our body, expanding down and into our spine, our back. Letting go as we move gently deeper and deeper down. The relaxation is moving into the chest. 7, as it spreads throughout and becomes one with the breath. Moving in and out as we let go. It feels so good to move deep. The deeper you go, the better it feels, and the better it feels the deeper you go. 6, The relaxation is just flowing all the way deep into your torso, moving through your organs, just helping you and relaxing further. 5, letting go a little bit more, just relaxing into your pelvic and hips. 4, as you relax further into your legs, your knees. 3, letting go even more now. The relaxation is flowing down into the ankles and the feet, down into your toes. 2, another nice wave of relaxation is just flowing through you, all the way over your head, down your torso, down below your legs, letting go. 1, you can even imagine now an opening at the bottom of your feet, allowing anything that's no longer serve you to just wash out and away from you. I invite you to open up your mind and your imagination and just imagine yourself standing in front of these gates that lead you towards your own special, fantastic amusement park. Walking through the gates, just feeling full of anticipation and excitement. Can't wait to check out the rides. And it's perfect because there's no lines. This is just you and the rides. And you get to go on as many rides, as many times as you would like. And this idea of freedom to go and try all these rides is very exciting for you. It's really quite special and full of fun. And so deciding to start your journey moving into the funny house. As we opened a door into the hall of mirrors, looking around and all of your reflections. Each and every one of those reflections is showing yourself all different, wider and fatter, or longer and skinnier. And in a way, it's all these facets, all these bodies you might wear in this lifetime. All these points in which you've seen yourself wearing a different suit. And remember how funny it is, how curious you are, and to see yourself in the next distorted mirror, in what way it's going to reflect back at you. And there wasn't judgment. You didn't get angry because one made you look fatter and the other one made you look skinnier. You were just enjoying the ride. You're just enjoying this moment and playing and having fun and laughing at yourself. And it allows you this moment to just reflect on, again, all these bodies you wore, all these masks you wore in this life, and how serious we tend to be, how stuck we get. Instead of just laughing and rejoicing in the opportunity of trying all these shapes, testing our bodies' limits, seeing all the ways it gets to carry us, changing and shifting. And we move out of that space, and perhaps we go towards our thrill ride, something fast and furious. Maybe a really, really, really incredible roller coaster. And we're in it for the thrill, for that tickle, for that moment where excitement and fear blend into one and we just plunge. And it's just so incredible and exciting. And if we close our eyes, it goes faster. And if we keep our eyes open, it can be even scarier and more exhilarating. And again, what a interesting space for us to experience in life. The roller coaster, that moment of plunge, that moment of climbing without really knowing what the drop is going to feel like, but just feeling excited and terrified all at the same time. And when we let go, how fun it can be. And again, how often we forget how fun it can be. And so just connecting with the fun of the ride. As we move on to the next one. Maybe the haunted house. Deep down within us, we just like to be scared. And again, there's something exhilarating in working through those fears and doing it and having the courage to walk through those hallways, even though they're scary. And again, remembering those moments in life that perhaps those choices were made to walk through those scary corridors. So you get to remember your courage. As you try your next ride, maybe the Ferris wheel. And allowing yourself to just gently coast. As you go all the way up to that high vantage point, that spot where you get to see the big picture. Everything is laid down and below you. And again, just inviting that for your life. Those moments where you pause and you take that step back and you get to understand why something is happening. Taking it slow and just taking it all in. And from there, maybe you move to your carousel. And you get to pick your ride. You get to pick which one you want to ride. Is it the horse or is it the wagon? Is it the tiger? You get to pick whichever one of those fun things you get to ride on and explore while the music is playing and the lights is shining. And again, those moments in life where you get to pick the fun ride. And remember them. Taking a moment and just scanning what's your favorite ride. What else do you want to experience in your amusement park? And do that now. inviting everything that we've experienced to just settle within you and just letting everything, all those metaphors, all those moments, to just remind you the excitement of choosing in this life and the freedom that you have in choosing all those rides as many times, and the free will, and learning from them and having the right outlook and perspective. So it's easy. So it's fun. Inviting a gentle count up now as we bring yourself back into this time and space, taking with you all that you experienced. 1, just full of gratitude. First, for you for allowing this journey, letting it happen, feeling really good about this. This was fun. And allowing that gratitude to just expand to anyone and anything else that supported you. 2, let's gently close that etheric body, bringing mind, body, soul together, weaving you as one being in this time to space. And again, letting everything you experience just settle within you. 3, taking a nice deep breath. Just beginning to wiggle fingers, toes, as we bring the awareness back into the body. Again, inviting everything you've experienced to just stay with you. 4, just washing you with refreshing energy, allowing you to feel good about the rest of your day, feeling good, aware, awake, and refreshed within your body. 5, bringing your awareness fully into the now, opening your eyes, wiggling and stretching more. Thank you so much for taking your time and inviting this journey. Thank you for listening to this episode. I really loved creating this series. It's been absolutely wonderful. Again, thank you so much for inviting me into your life. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Healing with Hila. If you'd like to hear more like that, join me on my Patreon page for exclusive content and my mini podcast, Midnight Thoughts. I'd love to hear more from you. Leave in the comments anything you would like for me to discuss in future episodes. Thank you so much for inviting me into your life. So much love your way.